Good, man. Another day.
This one here, the other one I have is in the attic. And set the temperatures that was thermostat. Didn't have no problem with this one here. I just had to put in, this is the state. Yeah, they do. You do the box of paper, remote controls, attached to a power box. See some more.
Those things.
I think the one we got two of them, one upstairs, the one that's in the attic. I think that's the way up. You got one in the walk-in attic. I think that's the
You're supposed to have them cleaned every year. I just like 7 years the first one. And the fire, I was like, yeah, it's still working. These guys, and these guys, the valves were upside down.
So the other thing you got a lot of work on was papers. Why not usually put it on here for the outside? Some come with, some don't.
So they're the rent that you can see.
So far, everything's been pretty cool. I can't complain if I wanted to. I'm really enjoying my schedule. One of the best things. What's up, man? How you doing? All right. Hey, Steve, how you doing? All right.
Monday. Well,
I sure appreciate it.
we don't have Monday night football, so I think we're okay.
Hey, how you doing? All right. All right. Hammond City Council public agenda hearing 5:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilman Wells. Councilman DiViterio.
Here.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilman Leon.
Present.
Councilman Andrews.
Present. Public hearing agenda, none. Hammond City Council, regular session agenda, 5:31 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilman DiViterio.
Here.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilman Leon.
Here.
Councilman Andrews.
Present.
And Councilman Wells.
Before we move into our prayer on tonight, the council has a copy printed on the front of your agenda. The public should have a copy of this printed toward the back of their agenda. I sent a communication out to the council last week due to being contacted about violating the open meetings law. Moving forward, during the council reports, it's just going to be a report that is given by each council member. It's not open up for discussion. It's not open up for debate. If the item is not on the agenda, it will not be addressed. Okay? If you have any questions or concerns about anything dealing with that, I'm going to ask that you send me an email, and I will respond to your questions in that manner. Could I get everyone to please stand for our prayer, please? Most gracious, loving Father, we thank you on this evening. We give you glory, honor, praise, and thanks just for who you are. Thank you, Father, for allowing us just another day. Thank you, Father, that you say the steps of a righteous man are ordered. Thank you, Father, for your word is true. We give you glory, honor, and praise for allowing your son to die in our place. Now, Father, we come to set before you right now the business that is at hand. I ask that you continue to touch the hearts and minds of these, your precious people. I ask that you continue to touch this council right now, their families, and continue to bless the districts in which we serve. I ask that you continue to bless the city, our country, and our state. But in our city, Father, I ask that you continue to bless our mayor, the administration. I ask that you continue to bless our fire department, our police department, that they continue to protect and serve us in the streets. We ask you right now, Father, for additional covering right now, because we come right now in a time in which we're living in right now, Father God. There's no other God but you, because we need you. We need you to move in our hearts and our minds. Continue to order our steps. We thank you right now that you said that your word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. So I ask, Father God, that everything this evening be done decent, order, pleasing in your sight. Therefore, you will get all glory, all honor, and all praise, because it belongs to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. At this time, I will ask, for all veterans and active military to render the proper salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Could I get an approval of our August 12th minutes, please?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman DiViterio.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Wells.
Final adoption of ordinance, none. Final introduction of ordinance, none. Resolution number 1.
A resolution to approve the Yellow Store located at 310 East University Avenue, Hammond, Louisiana, 70401, to obtain an alcohol permit for a convenience store. The owner is Banny Food Mart, LLC. Charles Barsher.
Yes, my understanding is the applicant has met all of the city requirements, and we have a representative here tonight to address the council. I'd invite you up.
Oh, okay. Mine did the same thing.
Name and address, please. A name and city. I'm sorry.
Name and city, Sam Multani, Hammond, Louisiana.
Okay. Anything you would like to say?
Not much to say if you guys can approve the alcohol and tobacco sales at the Yellow Store.
Exactly where is that located? Is that at the end of University Avenue?
Yes, it's right in the,
Across the railroad tracks? Well, it's-
Yes, yeah, past the railway tracks, yeah,
That's right.
yep.
Now, the only concern I would have is that, and I'm sure you are taking care of that, you're basically across the street from the university. A lot of underage people are going to try to buy alcohol from you. So just be aware of that, and please uphold the law for us, and, be mindful of that.
Yes, sir, yes.
Is that in your district or Kip? Whose district is that in? 1 or 5? Okay, I know it's close over there.
I think it's good. It's not mine.
It's in my district. Yeah, it's in my district.
One of the questions I have, to make sure everybody that work for you, make sure they are trained, know what's going on, because we have a big problem with underage drinking right now in Hammond.
Yes, sir, I'll make sure. I do own a few of other gas stations here locally, and we are pretty complied with the laws, and all our employees are trained.
Okay? Thank you, sir, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public on this item? Anyone else from the council? Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Abstain.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Resolution number 2.
Appointment to the Hammond Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board for 3-year term ending August 25th, 2028. Councilman Andrews?
At this time, we have 2 positions up for reappointment that we need to approve and put back on the board here tonight, where they'll have a complete board, where they'll be able to move forward in providing the services on the Civil Service Board. At this time, I'm going to ask each person that's name that is listed, you could come up and give your name, and we'll move forward.
Good afternoon, Council. Stanley Campbell, District 1. If I may, I'd like to read my letter of intent into the record if I can, Mr. President. I'm writing to express my interest in serving as a member of the Hammond Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board. I believe my background in civic engagement, business leadership, military service, and long-standing ties to the city of Hammond uniquely position me to contribute meaningfully to the board's importance. I bring with me years of professional and military work that have shaped my abilities to serve with due diligence and partiality. My years of service in the United States Army instills in me values of discipline, integrity, and accountability, qualities that align closely with the responsibilities expected of a civil service board member. Additionally, I'm a local business owner with deep roots in Hammond. Through my business endeavors, I've worked closely with residents and community organizations, strengthening my appreciation for the value and fairness, trust, and accountability of Hammond citizens expect from their public institutions. The Civil Service Board plays a very vital role in ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability in personnel decisions affecting Hammond police and fire departments. Louisiana Revised Statute Title 33 charges the board with a number of specific responsibilities. These include adopting and maintaining rules for the administration, qualification for employees and promotion, maintaining eligibility lists, and certifying candidates for appointment. The board is also responsible for reviewing and deciding appeals process for employees who have been disciplined, demoted, and dismissed, ensuring that such actions are supported by legal causes and taken by good faith. The law further empowers the board to conduct hearings, administer oaths, issue subpoenas, and renders impartial decisions that safeguard both the efficiency of the department and the rights of individual employees. Throughout my professional and military career, my deep connection to this community, I have developed a strong appreciation for impartial oversight and protecting both employee rights and integrity of our public safety institutions. If selected, I will bring the integrity, patience, and fairness I have consistently demonstrated in my leadership roles and community involvement to the work of the board. I will approach the role with diligence, impartiality, and genuine desire to serve the citizens of Hammond. I will be honored to support and strengthen public trust of our fire and police departments through fair and transparent administrations. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to ask a question, or just let all of them?
If you want to, you
Huh?
can go ahead and ask.
Mr. Campbell, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Good. Have you served on any other board in Hammond
No, sir.
or Tangipahoa Parish?
No, sir.
So this is going to be your first time
Yes.
being selected on the board. All right. Thank you, sir.
Stanley,
Yes, sir.
just out of curiosity, have you ever been a civil service employee?
No.
Have you ever supervised a civil service employee?
Yes. I worked for the Department of Defense in Afghanistan for 10 years, and civil service employees worked directly under us at that capacity.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Kyle Johnson, 516 Pinecrest Drive, and I am currently on the board, coming off, I think, last month.
Okay.
How long have you been on the board, Stanley?
3 years.
Do you wish to continue to be on the board?
I do.
What would you say your learning curve was, thinking back?
Civil service is a different beast than anything that I've ever been involved in. We have really good people on the board. We've had a lot of good attorneys help us with matters that come about. It was a unique learning curve, I'll say that.
Have you ever been a civil service employee?
No,
Have you ever supervised a civil service
I
employee?
have not.
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Johnson? All right.
First of all, thank you for your service. Air Force. Hey, guys, Mike DuBois, 43464 Hammond. I've been serving on the board myself. Felt like today was a good time to come and say thank you for that opportunity. And I have enjoyed it. I'm retired after a bunch of years in corporate life, came back to Hammond, America, and I have this ability not to say no to community service. So I didn't say no when President Crane turned my name in for the Civil Service Board. It's been a unique opportunity. It's been an experience. I've enjoyed it. I'm glad to have had the opportunity to serve my community, and it's been a privilege, and I would like to be able to do that again. So it's up to you guys. I will open it up. I got a long history in community service, corporate life, and the whole 9 yards, military, but I'm not going to spend that with you tonight. I'd rather keep it open for any questions that you may have.
How long have you been on the board, Mike?
I was in for a term, 3 years.
3 years, so you've been 3 years. And how was your learning curve experience?
It was interesting. The background is my friend here with the military, corporate life, and community service and other things that I've done. I have to admit, in the beginning, it was a steep curve, but it was something that was interesting and fun to learn because the key is to be fair to everybody. The key is to represent the city of Hammond and both sides of the story, so to speak. And at times it got a little challenged, but we, as a board, always came up with the right answers, I think. And that's the key.
Did you find being retired was a benefit?
Absolutely. I'll learn how to say no one day.
I'll ask you the same as some of the others. Have you ever been a civil service employee?
No,
Have you ever supervised a civil service employee?
no.
Anyone else have any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Good evening.
My name's Charles Delaberto. I'm in District 4. I'm a retired police officer, 34 years in Hammond. I'm asking to be on your board to represent the city and to be on behalf of the police and fire. I've supervised civil service employees for over 20 years. I'm retired, and I still live in Hammond here. Any questions, please?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Alberta?
I think you answered what Steve's were.
Do something different.
There you go.
Good job.
So given your many years with the police department, do you feel like you will be able to have some objectivity?
Yes, sir, I do. I feel like I will be fair for the police and fire, and also be on behalf of the city.
And you're retired, so you have the time to do this.
I have plenty of time on hands.
I've heard those meetings can run rather long.
That's okay.
I've heard.
I'm used to staying up late.
Anyone else?
Yes, I do. Mr. Charles, how you doing?
Fine. Mr. Wells, how are you?
Fine. Thank you, Mr. Charles, for your service of 34 years with the city of Hammond.
My pleasure.
I like the idea that you've been a part of the police department. So, and you done went through many, what you call those, chiefs?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, you done went through many of them. So, I'm glad to hear that your name, and I'm definitely planning on voting for you, that you're a part of this here board, trying to be a part. So, I appreciate you, Mr. Charles, for everything you done did for the citizens of Hammond, and most of all, I appreciate everything you done for District 3. Because one thing I do know, and Charles and I, we went to school together. You know, I got a little story to tell. Charles and I went to school together, and at Hammond High, and we used to fight one another. You know, it was a black and white issue, and somehow me and Charles always be the first one to crank up everything. But what I like about Mr. Charles, and it's the truth, I got into it at Southeastern. And Mr. Charles was the first one. It was right off of Southeastern campus. Mr. Charles was the first one out. And for everything we done in high school, he could have held that against me. But when he became a Hammond police officer, he put all that behind him. And I appreciate that. And from that day forward, I always looked at you different. And I appreciate everything that you do for the city of Hammond. And I'm glad, once again, to know that your name is being recognized to be on this here board. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Always remember, treat someone like you want your family to be treated in a fair and decent manner.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming up tonight. So what I'll do at this moment, I'm going to open up the floor for nomination.
I'd like to nominate Mike
Wait,
Dubois.
do you want to have public?
Nominate Charles Delaberto.
Wait, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry.
let me
Anyone
know.
from the public have any comment that they would like to make?
I'm ready.
You gotta be ready.
No one. Two. I'm
I
sorry.
just have a statement. I'm not making a nomination. I would like to make a statement. I had calls with all 4 of the candidates, all great people, wonderful people in our community. Thank you for being willing to serve, especially to the 2 that have already been serving. Only thing that I would like to say publicly, Stanley, you and I had a call. You know my reasons why I have hesitation about you being on the board. I don't feel like it's necessary to air them out here, right? You and I can talk about that more, but I will not be voting for you. I want you to know that based on our conversation and what we have discussed. Okay? Just want to say that publicly so you understand. No hard feelings. I think you're a wonderful person.
And I'd like to say something publicly since we're doing this. For the 2 that was already been on the board, I appreciate y'all time being on the board. And what the city always tell me, that we ought to be glad that these people serving on this board. So now, see, we got an opportunity to put 2 more new people on the board. So I'm glad to hear we got 2 more new names that want to serve on the board. Because the city somehow, we can't find new people to be on none of these boards. So the city picked the same ones over and over again. So I appreciated that. For the ones that already been on the board, I thank y'all for everything y'all did, and I appreciate the 2 new people that's trying to get on the board.
Anyone else from the council? Anyone else from the public? Okay, I can move forward now, Andre.
Yeah, accept motions.
Okay. At this time, I open up the floor for motions of nomination.
I make a motion to nominate, appoint, Charles Diliberto.
Second.
Councilman Andrews,
Aye.
Councilman Wells,
Aye.
Councilman Leon,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Aye.
and Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
I open the floor up for a second nomination.
Make a motion to nominate Mr. Mike DuBois.
Second.
Councilman Wells,
No.
Councilman Andrews,
No.
Councilman Divatario,
No.
Councilman Leon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Yes. I make a motion to appoint Kyle Johnson to the Civil Service Board.
Second.
Councilman Leon,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Aye.
Councilman Andrews,
No.
Councilman Wells,
No.
Councilman Divatario.
No.
I make a motion for Mr. Stanley Campbell.
Second.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
No.
Councilman Wells,
Yes.
Councilman Andrews,
Aye.
Councilman Divatario,
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Aye.
Thank you all for being willing to serve and putting your name in the hat.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate your service.
Thank you all.
Going off the board. Thank you very much. And to the new people, there's a big-time learning curve here. And without going into any detail or anything, this is not a board to come in with any preconceived notions. This is a board to be objective as possible, and it requires a lot of work. And it's going to take more work from you, Stanley, because you also have family, job, yada, yada, yada. Charles retired, so he'll have a little bit more time. It's a big load. I know you can handle it, but I'm just telling you up front, it's a big load. And I wish you the best, and I appreciate you keeping the objectivity in your mind.
Thank you all for taking the time to want to serve on the board. Congratulations, Stanley and Charles. Thank y'all, and I know it takes a lot of time and not compensated. So these boards mean a lot to the whole city, all the boards. So appreciate y'all taking it serious and showing some initiative to stand up. So thank y'all.
Thank you all for your vote.
Thank you. Resolution number 3.
A resolution, confirming the reappointment of Ronald Matthews to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 4-year term beginning June 16, 2025, and ending June 15, 2029. Charles Barsher.
This is the first of 3 reappointments. We do expect that we'll have a new opening on the board that may be coming before the council as early as the next meeting, but we have representatives here to address the council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Ron Matthews, 905 Delmar Boulevard, Hammond. I started with the planning and zoning under the Martello administration, extended through parts of later on. Many years later, I'm trying to think of how many years later. It was several years. Took a sabbatical and came back willing to serve again. And I get a lot of pleasure in it. My background is construction, as most of you know, degree in construction management, minor in architecture, and master in construction. Run a construction company here in the southeast region based here out of Hammond. So serving on this board has allowed me to interact more so with the council. I think I've had some one-on-one with each one of the councilmen, councilwoman and councilman, and served the community a little better. So I appreciate your consideration.
Well, I really learned something tonight. Lewis Tallow, wow.
Yeah.
So, man, you wrote the book.
No, don't say that. The book needs work. Ron, thank you so much. You've been always so helpful in coming to our meetings, even when you're not, have your commissioner hat on. You've always been so helpful helping us understand the issues that come before y'all, and you bring a really great perspective to the Planning and Zoning Board. I'm happy to support you, your continued good work.
And I appreciate your accessibility. I mean, whenever I need something or need to find out something, you know, you're always Johnny on the spot, and I do appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
Mr. Ron,
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm the one who recommended you to be on the board in the first place.
Right.
Not that long time ago, but since I've been a city councilman. And I truly want to tell you thank you. And what I love about you, you do take time to come to the council meetings. And I got to pick with you. I'm going to call on you, ask you some questions that we don't understand, and hopefully the next two that's coming before us, they start showing up to some of the council meetings. So hopefully that you can kind of tell them you come to the council meeting, you get free coffee and peppermint. So kind of get them to come up here sometime. But thank you so much for once again for all your service. You don't get paid. None of y'all get paid for it, but thank you a whole lot for everything that you've been doing for the city of Hammond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ron. Been knowing you for a while and doing a good job. And I know a lot of those decisions sometimes are tough and rough, but appreciate you taking the time to step up to the plate and help the board.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public have any comments or concerns on this item? I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Aye.
Councilman Wells.
Yes.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye. Resolution number 4.
A resolution confirming the appointment of Monica Perez to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 4-year term beginning June 15, 2025, and ending June 14, 2029. Charles.
Hi, good evening. I'm Monica
evening.
Perez with Gasway Bankston Architects. This would be my second term on planning and zoning. About my background, went to LSU and graduated in 2015 and moved to Hammond shortly after, or the Hammond area shortly after, and I've been working at Gasway Bankston since 2016. So I joined the board in 2021, and it's been nice to serve the community that I've become a part of.
Anyone from the council have any questions for Ms. Perez?
I'll just say that our UDC requires architect or some type of professional within that, so you definitely fill that, and we thank you so much for being able to give your time to us and continue to give your time to us, and you do a great job. Thank you.
Anyone from the public have any questions or concerns on this item? Again, Ms. Perez, we thank you for your service. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Wells.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Aye.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye. Thank you.
Again, thank you. Resolution number 5.
A resolution confirming the reappointment of Trey Ticer to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 4-year term beginning June 15, 2025, and ending June 14, 2029.
How are y'all?
Hi, Trey.
115 North Linden. I signed up for this because I wanted to serve my position now with our business. Allows me the time to do that, and I want the best for our community, and I've got a lot of learning to do. I'm going to start coming to some of these
Yes, sir.
meetings, and but I enjoy it. I hope I bring a good perspective. I think I do, and I know it's a heavy responsibility, and I embrace it.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Tyson?
Thank you, Trey. I know you have a lifelong Hammond resident or area resident, and so your perspective is definitely helpful in the planning to protect our city. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your service.
I got something to say, Mr. Tyson, but what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna come to the meeting, because I want to talk to you. But I am gonna sit here and vote for you. I just want to let you know, because some things been going on with y'all board. Because somehow, when I come to the meeting, I don't see number 3 people there. It's pretty much all the time, and I think the city, we got a problem. We can't have 3 people voting on something when we need 5 on the board. So, pretty much, and I addressed it at the meeting once before, so they letting 3 people make decisions on what's going on in Hammond. But thank you, Mr. Trey, for everything that you've been doing for the city of Hammond.
Is there anyone from the public on this particular item?
Thank you, Trey.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Leon. Aye. Councilman Wales.
Aye.
Again, thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Tyson.
Trey.
Resolution number 6.
A resolution accepting a $10,000 grant from the Louisiana Main Street Restoration Grant Program for improvements to the Levy Building, number 1. Number 2, approving a cash match of $10,000 from previously approved funds for improvements to the building. And 3, authorizing the mayor or his designee to complete and sign related documents. Charles?
We're excited to announce that we were awarded this grant for $10,000 for improvements to the Levy Building. This is a project that we've already completed initial round of improvements to. The front facade, we made that weather tight after Hurricane Ida. We have some city funds that were allocated to the project, as well as some additional grant funds that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on the agenda. The match requirement would be $10,000, but it's coming from already approved funds for the project. This is no new money. It's just a way of leveraging the city money that we already have to gain additional funding through this grant. So we're asking the council to approve.
Anyone from the public have any questions or concerns on this item? Anyone from the council? Pleasure of the council?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Leon. Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Wales.
Let's see. Resolution number 7.
A resolution ratifying and rejecting all bids received for Mooney Avenue Park Picnic Pavilions and Gazebo, RFB 26-07, as a result of all bids received being over budget. Charles Barsher.
So this and the next item are related. We originally did this several months back. We're unfortunate that we received bids that were incomplete. On the advice of our grantor, which is the Land and Water Conservation Fund program, we rebid for more standard picnic pavilions and a gazebo. Unfortunately, all of the quotes came back overbid. We don't have a choice but to reject these. We have to ask the council to formally do that. Our 2 options would be to rebid this, which is at least a 30 to 40-day process, depending upon when the council meeting would fall to approve the rebid, a third rebid. A more efficient route that we found would be to ask for quotes for the gazebo. We have grant dollars to cover the gazebo, and we have some residual park improvement of funds in the budget for Mooney Avenue Park that we could use to separately purchase the pavilions. So we think that's a way both to kind of keep the costs low, also meet all of our grant deadlines, and not have to extend this for an additional 30 to 40 plus days. So we're asking the council to begin by rejecting these bids, which are all over budget, and allowing us to proceed with the quote option, which will come next.
Okay. Anyone from the public have any questions on this item? Anyone from the... Go ahead.
The specification, is it a particular specification that is being applied for these gazebos and coverings, or is it just kind of open spec?
No, we provided specifications. We provided a sort of a model version, which is actually, I think, attached to the quote that's coming up next. Okay. But we provided a model of version in terms of what we want from the bidders. We also provide certain specifications that are specific to the city in terms of the overall dimensions, clear height, et cetera.
Okay. Yeah, because I've kind of watched some of the numbers, and it seemed like extremely high for what we've done. I've done these similar type of coverings on some of the developments we've done, and it's a whole lot cheaper than that. So I don't understand why these numbers are coming in. But anyway, I'm more than happy to sit down and talk about that.
Anyone else from the public? Anyone else from the council? It's in your district, Councilman Will.
Yeah, and it's amazing though. And I will say Charles and I, we did talk Friday. But from now on, Charles, let's kind of, when you about to make these decisions, we need to talk before the council meeting. Well, we did talk Friday because I just happened to see what was going on the agenda, but we need to start meeting before then because I'm mad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I can be happy because I'm glad Mr. Ron said that somehow it's keep coming up. It's keep coming up. And the rest of the city councilmen, you all know how the park is my passion. And we already talk about these kids going to the bar room. And now I see why they're going to the bar room because look like we can't get nothing done in the park. So I see why they're going to the bar room. So, Mr. Charles, we need to sit down and talk, man, and get something going. Please. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Anyone else from the council? I'll make a motion to reject these bids.
Second.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Resolution number 8.
A resolution ratifying quotes and authorizing the purchase of Mooney Avenue Park gazebo from Superior Recreational Products in the amount of $55,890, pending concurrence from the State Land and Water Conservation Fund Program. Charles Barsher.
So we received 3 quotes when we asked the bidders essentially to give us a quote for the gazebo only. We actually did receive a quote from a party that originally did not bid on the project. But the quotes range between roughly $55,000 and $65,000, with the lowest quote of $55,890 coming from Superior Recreational Products. We're asking the council to approve that so we can go ahead and get that order placed and hopefully get that gazebo in place before the end of the year.
Anything?
Anyone from the public have any questions on this item? Anyone from the council?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Resolution number 9.
A resolution to ratify quotes and awarding the contract for exterior renovations at the Miller Memorial Library. Charles Barsher.
This is not the project I was referring to earlier. It's a similar project. We have some grant dollars and some prior year allocated money for renovations to the Miller Memorial Library. We solicited quotes for these renovations. These are mostly exterior work, refinishing the steel that's on the exterior of the building, replacing some fascia and architectural panels, and doing some work to the main entrance to really complete the exterior phase of renovations. We received 3 quotes. We did have to reject the lowest quote. That was simply anomalous. We were later contacted by the lower quote, indicating that there was an error in their submission. So the 2 quotes that we can consider, Staub Windows Restoration was the low quote at $31,150. MRP Contractors, which is a local contractor. Staub is based out of New Orleans. MRP is a Tangipahoa Parish contractor. Their quote was $350 more at $31,500. I think it's the pleasure of the council if you'd like to award this to the lowest quote or to consider giving the local vendor preference. You do have that authority. This is a fairly straightforward project, exterior renovations, steel and wood. So again, I would defer to the council on that. Either award to the lowest bidder, Staub, at $31,150, or at your pleasure, you can defer to the local contractor at $31,500.
I have a question. We've done work with MRP Contractors LLC
I
before?
believe we have, not on a building renovation. We don't have that many city buildings that require renovations, and we only have 2 historic buildings. This is one of the 2, the other being the Levy building.
Andre, we are able to go higher than the minimum bid? I'm confused by that. Is there some type of percentage?
All right, not required to be publicly bid. So all you do is get quotes, multiple quotes, and then you compare
So we could
quotes.
choose the highest if we wanted, and no
Yes.
one would say anything, other than the constituents? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
This is where some conversations we had years ago, we went to the scorecard. You go to the scorecard and score based on past performance, like kind of project and all that. And maybe your best contractor could be someone that's middle of the road, maybe the hottest, because their goal is to meet the budget, but then have a successful project.
This is within budget, right? And we have funds already allocated?
Yes.
Because this is something that's been needed for a little while?
Correct.
Perfect. It's also gone to the Historic District, or is on its way? They need to-
Yes, it's in between. I attended their work session Friday, and we'll meet with them again on Wednesday. So this is a project we actually tried to complete a year or so ago, but ran into an issue where we just couldn't get people to come out and give us quotes. Now we're seemingly be able to get more people to come out and give us quotes.
That's good. The metal that needs to be redone looks terrible. I know we talked about it. It's
Looks
very structurally
awful.
sound.
Yes.
It looks terrible.
Yes, it is structurally sound. I've had to reiterate that to some of the tenants in the building. It does look bad. The paint has been on there for probably 30 years, if not longer. It's peeling, there's rusting, but the structure is sound.
So y'all recommending which one?
I'm deferring to the council. The lowest quote is from Staub Windows Restoration. They're a historic preservation company. They're based in New Orleans. Their quote is $350 less. The other contractor is MRP Contractors. They are a Tangipahoa Parish contractor, and their quote is $350 more.
I think we'd give the local one. That's my preference. For $350, you keep the money within the parish.
Right.
Let's see what. We're on the one of them's 49,300, one's 53,200. Must be the different one, right?
The one we're on is number 9.
Yeah, so we're on the stub at 31,150 to 31,500, huh?
Correct. I think we have about 35 total.
And that's just for exterior, because I know there's
Right.
interior that's needed, but that's not part of this.
Correct, yes.
Right. Anyone from the public on this item? Anyone else from the council have any questions or concerns on this item? I make a motion that we go with the local bid, MRP Constructions.
Second.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Wells.
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Resolution number 10.
A resolution to ratify quotes and awarding the contract for exterior renovations at the Levy Building, Hammond Regional Arts Center, to Stub Window Restoration in the amount of $49,300. Charles Barsher.
So this is another situation where it's the same 2 contractors that we could consider. Again, the lowest quote was kicked out because it was non-responsive, and later the contractor followed up with us and said it was an error. So the 2 quotes here, Staub Windows Restoration, they are the low quote at $49,300. MRP Contractors was at $53,200. So roughly a $4,000 difference, $3,900 difference. This work is more, there is mostly exterior work, but there is some window replacement, there is some interior work. Staub has actually worked on the Levy building before, so they're familiar with it. Our recommendation is in this case that we go with the lowest quoter because there is a larger margin in the quotes.
Well, and they've also worked on the building.
Correct.
Yeah, it'd probably been nice to know that beforehand, because even though it's local, but I mean, if they already worked on the building, I'd imagine it'd be a little more familiar with what's going on, so, but anyways.
Well, just to clarify, they've worked on the Levy building, but not the Mill Memorial Library. So they're familiar with this
Did
project.
they do a good job over there? Were y'all happy with them?
Absolutely, yes.
And what is building located at?
This is the Regional Arts Center. The Levy Building is the Regional Arts Center. They're the tenant. They're, 3 or 4 doors off the corner of Cherry on Thomas Street, just down the block.
All right, thank you.
And this has also gone to Historic District, I presume?
Yes.
Okay. Considering that they have such extensive window work that's consistently needed.
Yeah.
That they've already done the work, or done some work previously there, it makes sense to go with the low bid and the one who has experience with this project, in my opinion.
I make a motion to hire the Stubb Window Restoration LLC.
Second.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Resolution number 11.
A resolution to authorize the purchase of a 2026 Ford Explorer for the purchasing department from Bill Hood Ford. Total sale price $40,159. State contract 4400023793. Charles?
This purchase was authorized by the council in the budget. It is a state contract price, and it is a local dealer. So we're asking the council to approve. Again, this truck would be used by our purchasing department. They're also responsible for janitorial, so they bring a lot of janitorial supplies to the buildings, surplus, any kind of office equipment or whatever that needs to be transferred to our 190 facility for surplusing. They're using an old Durango that I believe was brought to them by the police department. I think the AC is out. These were all things that Janet explained during the budget work sessions. So they're very eager to get something new.
Anyone from the public on this line item?
So the use of this is just going to be bringing supplies to buildings, and who's using really?
This is for purchasing. They currently use the vehicle, so purchasing also handles the mail. So they twice a day, they bring the mail to the post office, pick up the mail, bring it back to City Hall. The janitorial services, they provide all the supplies to all the buildings, so they get delivered at City Hall. They'll transport them to the various buildings, and then any surplus office equipment, furniture, et cetera, they'll transport that as well to the 190 maintenance facility.
So shouldn't they be getting a truck instead of Explorer?
It's a truck, yeah. I'm sorry, it's a Ford Explorer, but that's to keep, when they transport stuff, to keep it out of the weather.
But you know, it's amazing. 2 years ago, we had a contract that was doing the cleaning the buildings. I think I'm just going to say about $80,000. That's how much it was costing them. And they had to buy the supply and everything. And here it is now. We sitting here about to purchase a $40,000 vehicle, not counting the supply. So it's just, to me, I think we do things backwards. Not me, but we really do a lot of things backwards up here.
No, don't say we, yeah, make that administrative wise.
Yeah, so, you know, and I know we talked about this during the budget, and I didn't approve of it during the budget. I'm not going to approve of it now, because here there's $40,000 we spending on a vehicle, and you just talking about hauling supply from building to building. And then I like what you said, go and pick up the mail and stuff 2 times a day. It's amazing how the city can find money to waste.
And then the AC went out. I mean, just fix it, a couple $1,000 bucks. I mean, or $40,000. I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to understand that. I mean, we're not going on long road trips.
I believe Janet said they tried to fix the AC and it's not repairable.
How old is that Durango?
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing at least 10, if not older.
Yeah, well, we the city council, we got to be better stewards over the money, you know. I know we talked about this during the budget, but I don't like the idea here we about to buy a brand-new vehicle. Where the post office located at? Before I make sure, I don't want to say nothing, I need to know. What
They're on the corner of Charles and, was that South Oak?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's easy to move Jana office close to the post office than to sit here and buy a $40,000 vehicle.
Anyone from the public?
First Ruffin District 1. I really think y'all should knock this one down. That truck not even big enough to do what you're talking about doing with it. Moving supply, Ford Explorer, you do better with a van or something, transit van. It's gonna cost more, and that'll go back to Councilman Wells, what he said. This truck right here is not big enough. You won't even hold nothing in it. You have to keep on taking trips back and forth, and then they're gonna figure out, well, the truck not big enough, then it's just gonna sit there. I think we should leave that one alone. $40,000.
Perhaps.
It's your money, so you got the right to say that.
Just leave that one alone.
Perhaps we haven't given enough information. I know we talked about it during the budget. I didn't hear these issues then. Does someone want to explain more? Tell us exactly what they're doing, how many trips a day, let us know if the air condition can be fixed, give us some other alternatives.
I agree. I think we need to just table this and come back next time with what exactly is it being used for, what's the condition and so on of the Durango, and again, more accurate information of what all is this being used for. And if it is supply, and if part of it is supplies, then how much supplies? I mean, how often? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? We just need a whole lot more information. I mean, I feel like they are asking for something because it's a need, but we're just not getting the information that we need here tonight. We might have gotten it during the budget session, but today's a whole nother day.
I've said this 1,000 times, but that's why you have department heads at meetings, or you know everything exactly about the situation before you come asking for things. I know Councilman Kibb, you're the president, but I done said it 20 times about the department head being here for certain things. They used to be there, but now they don't come. So it's a council meeting, so, you know, I think you need to look into having that. I mean, you ask the administration about what they needed for, they say AC. I mean, that's the information we got. So to me, that doesn't justify getting a new car to bring the mail back and forth, spend $40,000 when the mayor vetoes several drainage projects for city residents that need drainage for their house not flooding, but we have money to spend $40,000 on bringing the mail. So it doesn't make any sense, but that's a lot of things.
Well, I'd like to just reiterate that this is funds that the council's already approved that are in the budget, but I would defer to the council if you'd like to table this so that we have more time to get more information. If you have specific questions you'd like us to address, please send those to me and I get those to Jana. We'll get those answers for you for the next meeting.
I think that if we don't send questions, it's going to be, well, you don't have any more questions. I think the question is maybe a full outline of what that is used for all the time, how full it is, how many times a day, how much of it is a need. That's what I'm hearing people are wanting to know. And the repair history of it, of the one that they're currently using.
Yeah, how many miles it had? The Durango might have 500,000 miles on it. We don't know.
How many people gonna be driving the vehicle? And will it have a tracking device on the vehicle?
It will have a tracking device on it. There are currently 3 employees in purchasing. I'm not sure if all 3 would be driving it, but I can certainly have that answer for the council.
And since we have an auto shop on staff, I mean, all we need is the amount of the money of the equipment that it's going to cost to fix it, supplies or whatever needed total.
right. I'll make a motion to table this item until we receive further information.
Second.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Resolution number 12.
A resolution to purchase 3 runway end identification lights for a total amount of $40,844.19 from Allen Enterprises, Inc. Charles Busher.
So this was a solicitation of quotes, as we discussed earlier. In this instance, the company Allen was not the lowest quote. However, they are a contractor that the airport has used before. I believe they were also recommended to us by DOTD. This is a project that will be funded entirely with grant dollars. These are some last COVID-era monies that the airport received that have to be used at the airport. We have about $68,000 left. So this is going to spend out about 2/3 of that. Those grant funds are expiring at the end of the year, and these lights are needed. They're replacing a much older lighting system. I think it's incandescent. These would be LEDs.
So this is all supplied by federal funds that we have?
Correct.
No city funds at all?
No city funds, correct.
Charles, it looks like the lowest quote was 37 from Flightlight, is that right?
Yes.
And is there a reason, I missed that if you said it, a reason why you would go with the,
So Allen Enterprises was 40, Flightlight was 37, almost 38,000. We've never worked with Flightlight before. We have worked with Allen Enterprises, and that company was recommended to the airport.
is there any reason why you would be hesitant to use Flightlight? I mean, it's.
From talking to the airport director, it's just that it's the unknown. They've never worked with Flightlight before. They're a company out of Sacramento, California.
Are they installing or just providing?
They're providing the equipment for us to install.
If you're just buying something from a store, basically, why is that?
I'm sorry, there was also, hold on one second, you just reminded me. There was an issue with Flightlight's quotes. Let me just double check this.
Lead time 6 to 8 weeks? No, because Allen's 12 to 14 weeks.
Anybody from the airport here? No.
So the model that they quoted is not the model that was requested. Initially, there was some back and forth with the company. I know Janice stepped in. I'm sorry, I just was reminded of that. Initially, they quoted us on a unidirectional. Unidirectional is one way. We were requesting an omnidirectional, which is multi-way. And even after reaching out to them again during the quote process, they still provided a quote for a different type of equipment. So technically, we should be rejecting their quote as non-responsive. It's not the equipment that was requested. So that would make the quote from Allen Enterprises actually the lowest quote.
Okay, and I see you have an email in here that Illyria said that they're not giving her what she's asking for.
Correct.
Okay.
I apologize. I didn't remember that until you asked.
And that they're different, what they quoted.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Chris, could you explain something about these lights to us? Because I don't know nothing about the airport. Sure. Please.
Chris Goodman, Hammond, Louisiana. Just to answer your question, I wasn't really going to say anything. I was just curious as to what the bid was. But being the fact that I have a background in navigational aids for about 16 years, I guess I can explain this. An L849 is an FAA certification for a particular type of runway and identifier light. There's two types. There's omnidirectional or there's unidirectional. If you've driven by the airport at nighttime, you may have seen the round flashing lights at the end of the runway. There's a pair of them. They're supposed to flash together. What's currently existing right now, and sometime around second week of July, there was a note put out that all 3 systems are out of service, although 2 of those could be brought back up with very little ease. What it does is it identifies the end of the runway for pilots, especially during bad weather or nighttime. It helps break out the runway with all the city clutter. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of city clutter, but some are worse than others. All it is it's a box about this tall. I've actually worked on them back when Dave was still here. And it just flashes in a large area. The two types are LED and it's xenon, not incandescent, which is just a strobe light that's at the end of the runway. As far as the cost, when I saw this on the agenda, I actually called our supplier. The cost is not astronomical, so it's in the ballpark. The question I would have for Mr. Boyers is, what are we going to do about the installation? Because there's a couple other things there too. One, who's going to install it? Is it going to be a certified technician? And if you're changing types, which I don't know the type you're trying to get, but what's out there now is flash technologies. FAA order says that once you change the type, you have to flight check. So there's also going to be the flight check in there. And then the next thing is who's going to certify it. So if you look at the FAA order, anybody can install it. Any electrician can come out and install it. The FAA does it all the time. Then you have to have a certified tech certify it, and if a flight check has to happen, that flight check has to happen before the certification. So you got to look at that too. Having worked on this system before back when Dave was here, I know runway 31 has other problems. The sync wire underneath the runway is broken, so you can buy these things all day long. 31's not going to come up properly. So you're going to have some other work there as far as that goes. As far as the ones that's currently on runway 18 and 13, a little bit of moving around, which when I did this before, it takes about an hour to disassemble it and move it to another location. You could get to your systems up next week or two without a problem. I have worked out there with Dave a long time ago. I've offered my services free of charge. If you guys have any questions, the current administration has not taken me up on that, at least not recently, ever since the last little debacle last year. But in either case, that's what a runway identifier is. Do you have any other questions?
So these three runway lights, that they are in need of replacement?
They are currently noted out of service, although they're sold in pairs of two. So there's two at each end runway. The airport currently has 3 of them on every runway except for runway 18. When you sell a system, it comes with 2 of them. They come in nice, big, massive boxes. If you put the same type, you don't necessarily have to replace both of them at one time. So what I can tell from what you're doing is you're trying to upgrade from xenon to LED. There's not a lot of difference in the output to the pilot. Where you'll see the maintenance is you want to constantly change bulbs. To give you an idea as far as the xenon goes, xenon runs about $2,000 for the system, whereas the LED runs about $13,000 to $14,000.
But it lasts a lot longer, I guess.
It lasts longer, but the bulbs are only about $300. So how many $300 bulbs can you buy for $12,000? That's the question you got to look at. These things are out in the middle of the airfield. They are prone to lightning. That's where you usually see a lot of maintenance at. Same thing we have for all of our nav aids. Lightning is your bigger kicker. As far as the ones out there now, of course, I haven't looked at them in a little bit of time, but you're probably looking at trigger boards or flash tubes as far as to get them up and running for now. The LEDs would be an upgrade.
So you're saying 13,000 to 300 or 400
Yeah,
for the
an
bulb?
LED one's running about 13,000 for the set, whereas incandescents, or I shouldn't say incandescents, xenons, they usually run about 2,000.
Oh, 2,000. Okay.
At least the ones by Flash Technologies, which are the most popular ones. And you're 100% right. If you're just buying boxes, it really doesn't matter where you get them from. They're just going to ship them to you. I think your biggest hurdle is going to come to installation. How are you going to install them? Did that answer any of the questions, Charles?
I don't think I had any questions, but thank you.
No, it answered my question, but it's amazing though. Just because, and I say it all the time, just because we're getting grant money, that don't mean we need to waste it. And the grant money coming from somebody, and it still come from the taxpayers. Might not come from the taxpayers in Hammond, but the grant money coming from somebody. So we need to be good stewards over the money once again.
What wire were you talking about underneath the runway?
When I looked at them a while back when Dave asked me to look at them, the ones over on 3-1 were not flashing together. The FAA, which governs runway identifier lights, say they have to flash together. So the airfield lighting loop is what sends out the constant current. And then there's a sync wire that goes between the two that makes them flash together. And at the time, I determined that the sync wire was the problem. I could get them to flash, but they would not flash together. And when I ohmed it out, that wire was open. So you would also have to replace the sync wire, at least on runway 3-1. I do not know of any issues on 1.8 or 1.3 with the underground wiring. It'd just be a matter of putting the new system on there.
Thank you. Charles, are you aware of that, what he's talking about with that wire?
I was not aware of that. I do know that we have an issue on 1331 that may be contributing to what you discussed, and there is an active there's an active process of getting that repaired, so.
So we're working on that right now?
Yeah.
The sink wire identified back in 2018, 2019 with Dave LeBou, so that's probably way before whatever you got going on now. Although the airfield lighting is old. I believe they just had a project a year or two ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Taxiway lights.
Right.
I don't know if that did anything with the reels. I know it did with the taxiway lighting, which are the nice, pretty blue ones you see out there.
Thank
you.
Yeah, cost-wise, but you're only talking 6 lights on the entire airfield, so when you have a good 200-300 lights out there, it's 6 more.
Charles, I have one question dealing with, since it was brought up on the installation of it. Was that looked into all together with this
Yes.
package?
So the grant can't pay for installation. My understanding is the airport has a contract with a DOTD aviation electrical company. And I think that the plan would be to have them install these lights. To the point that was made about the flight check, that's something we're also trying to coordinate. We completed work on runway 1836, and we need to do a flight check for the end of that runway since it's been redone. The goal is to try to loop this into that same flight check, so we're paying for that flight check once and not multiple times.
Okay. So for me to be clear, was it $37,000 or $38,000 bid that was put in with the wrong material?
Correct. Wrong equipment, yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions on this item? Anyone else from the council? Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Leon. Aye. Councilman Wells.
Abstain.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Reports? Anything from the mayor's office?
Yes. So I believe I mentioned this during the budget work session back in May, the first budget work session. But back in May, the city did receive notification that we're receiving our second round of community development block grant funding. This round will be $230,833. As the council may recall, this money is related to a project that we initially were going to fund through a state program. It was improvements to Martin Luther King Park and Z. Murray Park. We ran into some issues there with it being a new program, and we saw an opportunity to switch gears and move it to this program where we actually get 3 years of funding and about additional $200,000 or so. So we'll be posting something probably as early as tomorrow, inviting public comment. We're going to be trying to set up a public hearing possibly as early as the end of this week. I just wanted to put that out there. If anyone has interest in what we're planning to do here, look for those postings tomorrow in the paper, probably on Thursday. And then I think we'll have a public hearing on Friday and probably another one in about 2 weeks. Council members, the public is welcome to attend. This round of funding would be for initial improvements to Martin Luther King Park. There's a plan for a walking trail that would connect new facilities, including a playground, which is part of the Phase 1 funds. And then Phase 3 would be entirely devoted to Z. Murray Park.
So Charles, explain something to me, because when you had applied for this here grant, you applied for the grant, it was for Martin Luther King Park and Z. Murray Park. But yet, you came back and said Z. Murray Park couldn't get none of the money. It had to go all the way to Martin Luther King Park. So what you did different now that Z. Murray about to be able to get some of the money?
So the original application was for $400,000 through the state program. This was a COVID program. It would have put roughly $200,000 in each park. It was always going to be split between the two parks. There was an opportunity in switching it to the CDBG program, the federal program, to get roughly $230,000 a year over 3 years. So a total of about $690,000, which is about almost twice. $290,000 more. The way this program works, we had to divide the project up into phases over the 3 years. So phase 1 and most of phase 2, if not all of phase 2, is Martin Luther King Park. That's originally how the funding split. It was roughly half and half, but a little bit more going to Martin Luther King Park. Older equipment there, more improvements in terms of sidewalks, et cetera. And then the remainder would go to Z Murray. So the way we have it phased right now is year 1 and 2 are Martin Luther King, year 3 is Z Murray.
So how much are we talking about for Martin Luther King?
Martin Luther King Park, between this funding and previous year, so it's about 230 this year, and last year was, bear with me 1 second, 236, so about 466,000.
So 466,000 in the 2 years for Martin Luther King Park.
Right.
And how much for Z Murray?
We're expecting about 230 for Z Murray. The allocations are roughly the same from year to year. They might fluctuate a little bit.
Okay.
What's that going for over there? And y'all already got it kind of lined up what y'all going to.
Yes. So in the original concept, we were improving the existing playground in Martin Luther King Park. At a budget work session, I think 2 years ago, Councilman Andrews brought up that there were some issues with rodents, snakes. That playground is right on the edge of the woods, and so looking at it, that playground was built in 2007, so it's getting up there in age.
The Z Mary, I was referring to the Z Mary.
Oh, it's Z Mary.
230 to 230 with Z Mary. Y'all have something y'all already?
Yes, so there are improvements around the pool, some picnic tables and pavilions around the pool, some improvements to the existing playground, potentially a new playground. That playground was installed in 2014, and we've had some issues with some of the equipment. Dog park improvements. We made some with city funds several years ago, but there is a plan to expand the dog park and to add some additional amenities to the dog park. Those are the improvements in Z Murray. Martin Luther King Park is, now we're looking at a new playground that would be located sort of east of the splash pad, toward the center of the park, more toward the center of the park, away from the woods. Some connecting sidewalk walking trail that'll come in phase 2. We've also talked about some bench swings and some other amenities, picnic tables, park benches, potentially some new pavilions in that park as well.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Splash pad, as far as I know, in Martin Luther King Park is still operational. We have recently the splash pad that's going in Mooney Avenue Park. They should be starting work on that mid-September. We have talked to that vendor. He's looked at that splash pad. One of the things that we've learned is that they can do some retrofitting of new equipment to some of the old above-ground equipment, so that might be an option in the future.
Thank you, Charles. Any council reports?
Yeah, I got a couple things. Charles, at our last meeting came up with the code enforcement. I got some of the list. I hadn't looked through it. Took a while. That was a little miscommunication, I guess. When I asked Lisa about the list, she said that there wasn't any list, and then you said there was a list, and kind of took a while. Finally, I got somewhat of a list that was sent over today, and I hadn't looked at that, but the tagging the cars, abandoned cars. I didn't review it yet, but I don't think those were in their list of how many tags were sent out or tagged in the area, Lincoln Park area, that came up prior.
Right. So what has happened in roughly the last several months is that code enforcement has moved over to My Government Online, MGO. That's the system that was adopted by the building department May of last year. Code enforcement was the second division to adopt it. They are in the process of moving all of their paper lists and records, file folders and whatnot over to that system. So what I sent you is everything that they have put in the system to date. I think it's around 90-something grass cutting properties. I understand there's maybe about 2 to 3 times that number throughout the entire city. I think there's about 30 some odd demolitions that were in that list. the abandoned vehicle file, I saw the file, but there isn't a list. They're in the process of adding that file to MGO. The way it would work going forward is that all the information gets entered to MGO, code enforcement officer goes out, let's say they get a call or they're going to do an inspection. They have their iPads, they can enter the information in the field, it gets uploaded from the field into the system at the office. When they get back, they can actually hit a letter generator and they can generate a letter that can go out to the property owner. So if it's a grass violation, if it's a demolition, a lot of that will now be automated. That is still, some of the kinks are still being worked out. One of the things I recognized and I've confirmed this morning is an issue with MGO as a whole is that there isn't an easy way to just print the list, right? So you can generate a query and you can have all the demolitions listed or all the grass cuttings listed or all the open permits listed. There isn't a place on that page to hit print this list or export this list to like an Excel document. So we're actively working with the company to add that functionality. It seems like it should be a button
Already
click as
there,
we suggested.
yeah.
There's a report generator, but you're going into a different area of the software to do that. It would be much better just to run your query, hit print.
See, I guess where my problem is that we got that system a while back now. I know things don't happen overnight, but I think we need to get a better plan to when we purchase something, have an execution plan in place to actually engage in that system and try to practice and train to get the information there. I done spent several hours and days and over the last 2 years, 3 years on certain issues. And, I drive around with them and they take notes of those properties and the cars and stuff. And, it looks the same. But then it's pick and choose kind of. They do find certain ones, but not others. And so that's why I was hoping you had some type of, list on there that where, in the tags, when they're tagging them, because I think the tags went in place, man, I think we may have started that before maybe it might be 2 years now that we started the tagging system, like to where you tag the car.
Right.
Y'all don't have any record of cars you've tagged?
They have a file folder, but not a list. I saw the file folder. It would require somebody going through and literally adding all of that stuff either to MGO or making a list.
So so is it possible to get how many cars were tagged in that area and how many have been removed?
I can ask code enforcement to go through the folder and try to identify the ones for District 4.
Yeah. And it's really it's pretty easy to manage mine. There's only a couple areas that are really Scanlon. North Scanlon is another area right there. And so, a lot of these places, it's multiple issues. So, it's probably crime related, criminal activities and, code violations. And so, I know things can't happen overnight, but I don't see how you starting when you don't even have the data, the documentations of the records where you can follow back up and see like, okay, we sent that notice out or we tagged that car. How are they even going back to check to see if they moved it or not moved it or whatever? I'm
Right.
just kind of, I don't understand what's going on.
So the process as I was demonstrated last week is manual, right? So there's a folder and they're going literally into the folder, into the filing cabinet and pulling a file. The goal is to get everything in MGO so that from a computer or from a tablet, you can check the status of an address. You can add information while in the field. Someone in the office could run a query and produce a list. I confirmed today that we do have the capacity within the software to identify by district. So that would be very helpful going forward to be able to say, for each of the council members, how many demolitions, how many grass cutting projects, how many abandoned vehicles, how many permits, et cetera, for each district.
I think that's a problem. I think there to where like I don't really know how, from the sounds of it, I don't really know how's really anything really being done with organizing. If it's that the city is 20,000 population. You got houses everywhere. It's 5 districts. I don't know how you still managing that way in 2025 with all the all the technology that we provide. And when did y'all start doing that? Last week or the week before, like getting it transferred from paper to?
No,
yeah?
they started working in the software. I wouldn't say like initially it was training. I want to say that was around the time I was embedded over there. So probably about a year ago, and maybe not quite a year ago. They probably had about 2 or 3 months of kind of getting used to the software, and they've been entering stuff as it comes in, as they, rather than go pull the paper file, they're pulling the paper file and going sit in front of the computer and adding it to the computer. So it's a bit labor intensive because they're having to copy over old data and enter old data, but the goal is to have everything in MGO so that anyone, like I said, who has access in the building department, the planning department, can pull something and say, okay, we've got this number of demolitions, this number of grass cuttings, this number of building permits.
Do you think you could give me a list of how many were tagged and issued tags for abandoned cars by Friday in my district?
I can try. Sure, I'll try. I mean, like I said, someone will have to go into the actual physical folder, but I can ask, sure.
Do y'all have someone that can do that?
Yeah, we'll have one of the members of code enforcement, or both of the members of code enforcement, spend a little bit of time going through the paper folder.
Okay.
Why y'all working on that?
Excuse.
One of the things that I would like to have more of a comprehensive list of is, as it relates to code enforcement, those that are reoccurring. We spinning our wheels here. Every summer I call about the same places and the same people. And, does this just go on forever? I mean, I understand there's new ones, but if we can't address the ones that have done, that have been in violation year after year after year after year, then we can't get the new ones either. I mean, I would be interested in some that I know for a fact that probably for 6 years I've reported, and they just, they continue not to do nothing until push comes to shove.
Is this grass cutting in particular that you're talking
Grass
about?
cutting grass cutting and deplorable conditions of homes.
Right.
It's not demolition because you got to meet so many standards to be demolition. But yeah, general cleaning up of a person's property.
That's what I've been touching base on, Steve, and that's what if they don't have the organized list to tell when they sent the notices out, that's why it continues to happen over years. I mean, it's the same stuff, but there's no documentation easily found to where, okay, I sent a tag out January 5th of 2025. I mean, if it's in a big paper file, I just got one district. Y'all got 5 districts to look at.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing on there, the tag should have a simple, even if it was paper, to me, I'm getting the feeling that it's just a pile of paper just all over the office. Like, what I mean is, like, it should have a little ticket tab where, okay, we tag this car, we tear and put this in order, and then, you go back, okay, here you go. I sent this. So that's why the years are keep on going on. I'm getting exhausted of driving around talking about the same, and it's 2 spots. And so it's not like all over the place.
Right.
And nothing's being done.
From what I've seen, the physical files are organized. However, it seems like each of the code enforcement personnel have had their own way of organizing things. And then when someone leaves, it's not always easy to figure out, okay, how are they organizing things? And that's the whole point of getting it all into MGO, is that everything will be in the same format, organized the same way, in the same system, accessible to anybody within the building department, not just to code enforcement. So the building official could look at it, the planning director could look at it.
So again, how close are we to getting that finished?
The demolition list that I saw, I'm being told, is fairly complete. The grass cutting list is about, I'm told, a third to a half, somewhere in between. We are in the process of hiring a new code enforcement officer since we had a retirement in the division, and we may be actually supplementing. We have a permit tech position that's going to be coming open, so we may be supplementing some of the administrative work through that position as well. But we're hoping that we'll be able to get everything into the system and be able to track this much more clearly and be able to provide reports to the council on a more regular basis.
You can direct the question to me, please.
Dan LeBeau in Hammond, Louisiana. Is there any way that they can maybe hire a temporary worker, short-term, to get all that put in and done? And this would kind of eliminate a whole lot of these discussions at every council meeting. Is that something that's possible?
Something we can look at. From the way I hear Charles talking, it's like they got some positions open over.
We have some positions that are opening up. We have one that's open since the retirement, another one that will be opening soon. You make a very good point, though. Southeastern is getting back to session, so we've had good internship partnerships with them. Maybe we can find a Southeastern student to come over and do some data entry. That's how I got involved in public service. I did data entry in my early teens.
And probably they would be better at it than some of your code enforcement officers. You know, that's what they do.
Mhm.
If you're going to hire an intern out of the
That's a good idea. I think I'll run that by our HR director and see if we can make that happen.
You know, I got one more thing to say. I mean, you know, just like tonight, we had the airport purchasing department come up, and the department heads weren't here. So in the past, they used to be here even before this, and before this, I was up here, and so that I answer a lot of questions when there's questions come up, and I think it's a good idea to have department heads that are at the meetings whenever it has to do with something in their department, so they can answer it, no matter if it's an airport or building or purchasing. So I think that's just good management to have that. I don't think you know every ins of out at every single department, every day, daily duties in your spot. So I think that needs to be looked at. Kip, maybe you need to look at, maybe, I'm open, to inviting him to come on certain topics when it's on the agenda. So I don't know how you feel about it, but, that's just my suggestion.
Stop approving it. They'll come. Mr. Charles, Roseland had a big explosion up there. What did the city of Hammond do to reach out for us trying to help Roseland?
So I actually just got a report from our fire chief. As maybe not everyone knows, the Hammond Fire District is larger than just Hammond, right? Fire District 1 is larger than just Hammond. We also have mutual aid agreements with the parish and other cities. So we did respond. We were out there. The chief was describing the scene to me this morning. So we were part of the fire suppression effort. The first day that it happened, there was really no putting that out. If you guys have seen any of the video, the aerials, the photographs, lots of flammable liquids. There were actually 2 fire trucks, not ours, but 2 fire trucks that I understand were lost trying to battle the blaze. So that was our response. We were there trying to contain and to fight the fire. I think it largely had to burn the first day until they got it to a point where they could get in with equipment and not risk equipment and lives trying to put it out.
Okay, they got 400 and some employees not working. And since we have a shortage of employees, could the city reach out to any of them and fill these positions?
I don't see why not. I can discuss it with our Human Resources Department. I don't know that we have a ton of open positions, but certainly we do have some open positions, and there may be qualified staff from Smitty's that could fill those positions. It's unclear right now how long they will stay shut down. I know that Tangipahoa Parish Economic Development, I believe, put out an email earlier today asking, if there are any employers out there, commercial, public, private, that could potentially help out with the displaced workers at Smitty's.
Okay, the building permit office, I got, the building permit office need employees, because I see we got one employee, he working for the parish and the city. That's not a conflict of interest?
No.
So how could he do an inspection in Hammond and do an inspection in, I'm gonna say with the parish? I'm asking. How could
So
he do
he's still under contract with the city. He's coming in earlier. He's coming in on lunch breaks. He's coming in afternoons. In moving over to the parish, there was dialogue with the parish about, we didn't want to lose this person because he was instrumental to kind of building back up the building department. One of the things that has come from that is we now have an inside look at how the parish is doing things. So, for example, with code enforcement, there are some ideas that the city is going to be probably borrowing from the parish to line up our code enforcement and building processes. You may recall that when the new demolition process was presented to this council, that was largely based on a dialogue that we had with the then building official for the parish. So for the time being, that's how it's working.
Charles, why does it take an employee working at both governments to get good ideas from the parish? That doesn't, why?
Well, I don't think
Why
it
isn't the
does.
city trying to learn how other municipalities do it well? That's what I took from what you just said, and it
No, I'm sorry.
sounded kind of absurd.
That's not what I intended. What I meant was that we had already started the process of working with the parish about a year ago when Nick LeBlanc was the building official there. We started working with Nick to try to see where we could line up our processes with the parish. They're not going to be the same, right? Like the parish has a lot more rural property to deal with, and there are different processes for that. We have a lot more urban, even though we like to think of ourselves as rural, we're more of an urban city. With having someone now working for the parish directly, it just makes that communication a bit easier because he's seeing things that we didn't know about before, we weren't privy to. And there are challenges that they're facing that maybe we have solved. So the communication, I think, has been really good over the last several weeks since this transition began.
So, once again, we can sit here and pay a person $120,000 an hour, $120,000 an hour.
A year?
Yeah, a year. No, but how much he make an hour? You know how much he make? $120 an hour. That's how much we paying. And he's working for the parish and the city. I don't see why we can't hire nobody full time to work for the city. And that was good what you said. And we got a lot of good ideas from the parish. And I know about the house, about the demolition of the houses. I understand that. But I'm talking about, I truly have a problem with it. And Councilman Andrew had brought it up before, this contract. And it's like I don't know if the book being padded or not, but I have a problem with it when I'm looking at 400 and some workers in Roseland need a job right now. So I truly have a problem with that. And I heard you, escort around and, play around it, but the city of Hammond need to try to do something to help the town of Roseland. It's a small town and the city of Hammond is big. So we need to offer all our resource of what we can do to help them because it's affecting every family up there. And so I got 7 complaints, but I said I'm gonna put all mine to the side and see what we can do to help Roseland out.
Well, we currently have, I'm going to guess about 15 positions. I'm looking at it closely, I'm not counting, but about 15 open positions posted on our website, everything from building inspector to certified building official. That's still on our website. Carpenters, code enforcement, corrections, mechanic, meter readers, police communications officer, police officers, reserve officers. So there's a lot of openings at the city in various different capacities. And if anybody's watching from Roseland, if you're interested in applying, please do.
Charles, could you direct that to Go Jobs with the parish?
Yes.
They have a repository for people. They're asking businesses and municipalities to tell us so that we can give it to the Roseland people.
Right.
I'm sure somebody from there is watching this, but please reach out to them directly.
So, Charles, to go back to Councilman Wells' question, are we even advertising for the building official position?
Website.
It's on the website currently, yes, sir.
Or has anybody applied?
I don't believe anyone has applied. We had this issue, if you may recall, when we were trying to hire the city planner, and then the building official, the fact that we're looking for certified city planner, certified building official. You're talking about people who are in high demand and demand high salaries. So they're difficult to hire, and they're difficult to retain. So we still have it posted on our website. You know, for right now, we have something that's working fairly well, we think. But, you know, if a certified building official were to apply tomorrow, we would certainly take a look at the application.
Charles, you told a lie. I wasn't going to ask that question. I sent somebody over there that's certified and applied for that position. I know this for a fact. You need to stop answering if you don't know the answer. So what you should have said, let me check with the building, let me check with HR to see. That's what you should have said. I sent 2 people there that I know certified. Not only that, the man applied for the job twice. And I'm not going to call his name. Yeah, he applied for the job twice. I know he's certified because the test that you all want him to take, he couldn't take the test because he one of the ones that prepared the test for everybody to take. So that's how I know you're lying. And I'm tired of this. We can't keep sitting up here telling these lies and feeding it to the people. The best thing about you, you're not elected. So you can tell any lie you want to tell. The rest of us elected. So we have to watch what lie we tell or don't tell a lie at all. I'm tired. Tell the truth. If you don't know it, say you don't know it. I got a problem with the cameras in Mooney Park. We just had an incident in Mooney Park the other day. The cameras don't work. This come out the police department mouth. That's what the first thing they tell a citizen. The cameras don't work. 7 o'clock by my watch. Give me some data for the cameras at 4 o'clock for today. And get me some data for the cameras at 7 o'clock for today. It's amazing. I asked to go see the monitors. I couldn't go see the monitors, but them kids from the rec center was able to go see the monitor. Nobody want to go to see them. The chief had 10 things that he wanted me to do. Leave my phone at home, take my shoes off, take my socks off. I'm a grown man. What the hell I look like taking all that off to go see monitors of Mooney Park? Sam didn't go, Kip didn't go. I asked Miss Lisa to go with me. IT reached out to me several times to go, but IT don't realize what all the chief asked me to do. I'm not a police. I want to see those monitors on Mooney Park. All the issues we having, and yet we all know where the issues at, but we keep tiptoeing around the issues. We got a problem. We got a problem. I don't have to bite my tongue. That's the best thing about me. I can say whatever I have to say, and I can say it 2 times, 3 times. We're going to have to do better. We got a problem. I wants to see what's going on in Mooney Park. Somebody probably got raped. But we can't even talk about it, because guess what? The cameras don't work. Show me the cameras work. If it's a lie, it come from the police telling this to the citizen, oh, the cameras don't work in Mooney Park. No police never told me this. I'm tired of talking about the same thing. The tracking device. It's amazing. The parish got a tracking device. You can't even tell us how many trailers the city have, how many tractors the city have, how many excavators the city have, how many lawnmowers the city have. We don't have nothing on record. We're about to go into a new administration, and a lot of this stuff gonna come up missing, and we ain't gonna even know who stole it. I got a problem. That's it for me.
Any other council report? All right, from our last meeting, we got in contact with the Attorney General's office. They finally submitted a return back to me. I'm going to give everybody a copy of the letter. I had to submit a letter by email requesting a response from them. This is what I received back on the inquiry. inquire about the investigation, opening an investigation into the permitting office. Ms. Lisa, could you read question number 1 for me, please, and give the opinion that was given back from the Attorney General's office?
After the investigation was authorized, does the Home Rule Charter require a simple majority or 2/3 vote of the council to set the scope of the investigation? They concluded that it is the opinion of the office that the Home Rule Charter requires a 2/3 vote of the council to set the scope of the investigation. And then they quoted Home Rule Charter, Section 2-06.
Okay. On page 3, the second question that was submitted, excuse me, could you read that question and the response from the Attorney General?
Question number 2, under Section 4-02 of the Home Rule Charter, does the hiring of legal counsel to conduct the investigation require a simple majority or a 2/3 vote of the council? The conclusion is it is the opinion of this office that Section 4-02 requires a simple majority vote of the council, and then they list the section.
This is what I received back. I did submit a request, as it was stated over the telephone, after Ms. Lisa talked to them, that I would have to send. She couldn't send it. I had to send it requesting them to send it to me, and this is what I received. I will receive a hard copy in the mail. Right. Are there any other council reports? Okay.
District 3, my concerns are on Coleman, food bank, traffic, schooling, the travel. Y'all talked about it before, and you said you went to the leader over there.
Right.
If they're housing it to Kentwood once a week, they can house it to Z-Mary. That's an accident waiting to happen. That's not 3-lane traffic. When I'm traveling down that road and it's going on, it's a nightmare. If I'm trying to turn off, it's an accident waiting to happen. Now you got children in school, you got midday runs with the buses. They still there. Something got to be done. Something got to be done. So I'm asking you to go back to the table. You know, don't let them tell you nothing about refrigeration, because if they can drive 25 miles up the road, I think it's a better travel path. If you take it over there to Z-Mary, they got refrigeration trucks. Something got to be done.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, we really need to do something over there. It's getting too bad over there. They're parking all on the sidewalks, tearing everything up, all the way down. Somebody's gonna get killed.
I set another meeting with them, and from the one I had, that's the answer that I was given back. I know that Reverend Hannibal do have some reservation himself as well with that. I don't know how that actually went when they met, but I'll follow up with him as well. But I will reach back out to him again.
Yeah.
Y'all the council, and this is the city. We're taxpayers. That can't keep going on like that. It's not what they say. It's just something got to be set in place, because it's gonna be bad if a child get hit.
Okay, well, let's try to set a meeting up with him, if you want. Yeah, you know, I mean, I definitely attended this meeting. Councilman Wells, it's in kind of your district as well too. I don't know if you want to be at a meeting or not, but I know that. I appreciate it though.
Well, I think once you and Kip go meet for 2 hours, then I go meet for the second 2 hours, because I can sit there and say what I want to say.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good. But I want to thank President Kip on getting this opinion. And now that we know this, how we going to move forward on this?
I think we need to move forward.
We'll come back and revisit it, but I did submit this that I got back, so if there's something we're gonna look at, we'd have to place it back on the agenda.
Yeah, well, I thank you for everything you did. And as you can see, we truly have a problem in that department. And it's time to get this here dust out the way. Because it's been a sore eye for my district. And I know it's been a sore eye for y'all district as well. So thank you very much, President Kip.
You're welcome. What I'll do, Councilman DiVittorio, we look at some dates.
Yeah.
We'll put our head together and see what we could do with as far as meeting with him. Ms. Pam, I do agree with you 100% on that. That's why I took my time out that morning to go over there and have that meeting with him. Again, as I stated, you know, Reverend Hannibal has made some comments as well of how he's feeling about some things that are taking place over there. And I do agree, and I hate that something would happen. And don't get me wrong when I say this, but sometimes if it's not happening in your yard or in your view, even though you see it, it don't mean nothing to you. But when it happened at home, that's when it changed. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Meeting adjourned.
Good night.